The Phantom usually takes all the attention, but it was only one piece of a much larger picture. Over Vietnam, the United States deployed an entire generation of jet aircraft, strike jets, fighters, bombers, scouts, jammers, and even early drones. This is the complete story of every U.S. jet aircraft used in the Vietnam War. Douglas, a 4 Skyhawk, small, fast, and carrier-ready. The A-4 Skyhawk became the Navy's primary light attack jet. It delivered heavy bomb loads despite its compact size and flew thousands of strike missions. Simple design and reliability made it one of the most heavily used jets of the war. Grumman, a 6 Intruder, while other aircraft depended on clear skies. The A-6 Intruder did not. Built for all-weather operations, it attacked targets at night and in poor visibility. Low-level penetration made it a constant threat over North Vietnam. LTV A-7 Corsair Duois, as precision became more important. The A-7 Corsair Duois entered the conflict. Advanced avionics allowed accurate strikes with fewer attack passes. It played a major role during the final large-scale bombing campaigns. Cessna, a 37 Dragonfly. Not every jet was built for speed or altitude. The A-37 Dragonfly focused on close air support. Small, agile, and lethal at low level, it worked directly with ground forces. Douglas, a 3 Sky Warrior nicknamed the Whale, the A-3 was the largest jet to regularly operate from aircraft carriers. It served as a bomber, tanker, and electronic warfare platform. Few aircraft matched its versatility at sea. Boeing B-52 Stratofortress. The B-52 brought overwhelming power to the conflict. Originally built for nuclear war, it became a conventional bomber over Vietnam. Massive bombing missions reshaped entire battlefields and left a lasting psychological impact. Martin B-57 Canberra. The B-57 specialized in night operations and interdiction missions. It hunted supply routes and truck convoys along critical logistics corridors. Stealth and timing were its greatest weapons. Although orgiastic, Douglas B-66 destroyer. Though designed as a bomber, the B-66 found its purpose elsewhere. It became a platform for intelligence gathering and electronic missions. Its work helped protect strike aircraft deep in hostile airspace. McDonnell Douglas F-4 Phantom EA. The F-4 Phantom EA became the defining jet of the Vietnam War. Used by the Air Force, Navy, and Marines, it served as both fighter and bomber. Early assumptions were challenged, forcing rapid adaptation in combat. Vought F-8 Crusader. While others relied on missiles, the Crusader trusted its cannon. Highly maneuverable and aggressive, it excelled in dogfights. It finished the war with one of the highest kill ratios of any U.S. fighter. North American F-100 Super Sabre. Before the Phantom dominated the skies, the F-100 carried much of the workload. It became a primary close air support jet in South Vietnam. Forward air controllers relied on it during early operations. Republic F-105 Thunderchief. The F-105 bore the heaviest burden over North Vietnam. Flying fast and low into dense defenses, it delivered massive strike payloads. Its missions helped shape modern suppression of enemy air defenses. Convair F-102 Delta Dagger. Designed as a Cold War interceptor, the F-102 found itself in a very different war. It flew patrols and escort missions rather than high-altitude interceptions. Northrop F-5 Freedom Fighter. Originally evaluated under a combat test program, the F-5 proved agile and effective. Its simplicity and performance made it ideal for Allied air forces. It later became the backbone of South Vietnam's jet fleet. General Dynamics F-11 Dorden Aardvark. The F-11 Dorden introduced a new concept of warfare. Terrain-following radar allowed low-level night strikes at high speed. Early problems delayed success, but the design pointed toward the future. Grumman F-14 Tomcat. The F-14 arrived at the very end of the war. Its role focused on fleet defense rather than combat strikes. It provided air cover during the evacuation of Saigon. North American Fu-4B Fury. Adapted from a fighter design, the Fu-4B became a strike aircraft. It delivered conventional weapons during carrier operations. Its service marked the transition from early jets to more specialized platforms. Lockheed Sunbird 1 Blackbird. Flying higher and faster than any aircraft before it, the Sunbird 1 gathered intelligence with impunity. Its missions over Southeast Asia were untouchable by enemy defenses. Speed and altitude became its shield. Lockheed A-12 Oxcart. The A-12 was a secret predecessor to the Blackbird. It flew covert reconnaissance missions at extreme speeds. Few knew it existed while it operated over hostile territory. Lockheed U-2 Dragon Lady. Operating at the edge of space, the U-2 monitored missile sites and troop movements. Its missions were long, solitary, and dangerous. Intelligence gathered shaped strategic decisions. decisions. McDonnell RF-200 flew to the RF-200 flew deep into defended airspace alone. Low-level reconnaissance missions captured vital imagery. Survival depended on speed and timing. North American RA-5C Vigilante carrier-based reconnaissance demanded courage. The RA-5C flew some of the most dangerous missions of the war. Loss rates were high, but intelligence value was immense. RF-8 Crusader converted from a fighter. The RF-8 replaced guns with cameras. It flew close to the battlefield to document targets and damage. Agility helped it survive where slower aircraft could not. Boeing RB-47er Stratojet operating along the edges of hostile airspace, the RB-47er gathered electronic intelligence. Its missions mapped enemy radar and communications networks. Information became a weapon. Electronic warfare and command jets, Douglas EB-66 destroyer. The EB-66 jammed enemy radar and missile systems. It protected strike packages entering heavily defended zones. Electronic warfare became essential to survival. Grumman E-6A E-6B Prowler arriving later in the conflict, the Prowler specialized in electronic attack. It blinded defenses during major bombing campaigns. Its role would only grow in future wars. Douglas E-3B Skywarrior, the E-3B combined refueling and jamming roles. Its flexibility made it invaluable on aircraft carriers. Few aircraft multitasked as effectively. Douglas F-10B Skyknight, an older design, repurposed for a new mission. The F-10B provided early electronic support for marine operations. Adaptation kept it relevant. Boeing Ray-13-5 series flying far from the front lines. Ray-13-5 aircraft listened. They collected signals and communications across the region. Intelligence flowed from silence. Boeing EC-13-5 The EC-13-5 served as an airborne command post. It coordinated complex air operations across the theater. Communication meant control. Ryan Model 47 Lightning Bug unmanned reconnaissance entered the jet age here. The Lightning Bug photographed heavily defended targets. Risk shifted from pilots to machines. Ryan BCM-34 Firebee, originally a target drone. The Firebee became a scout. It tested enemy defenses and gathered intelligence. Early drones changed how reconnaissance was done. Lockheed C-41 Starlifter. The C-41 moved troops, cargo, and prisoners of war. It symbolized both the beginning and the end of involvement. Speed connected continents. Lockheed C-5, Galaxy massive and powerful. The C-5 carried oversized cargo. It transported heavy equipment during critical phases of the war. Strategic airlift reached a new scale. Lockheed Jetstar fast and compact. The Jetstar moved senior personnel and sensitive cargo. Time mattered, and this aircraft saved it. McDonnell Douglas C-9 Nightingale. The C-9 transformed medical evacuation. Wounded soldiers reached advanced care faster than ever before. Survival rates improved dramatically. Boeing 727 adapted from civilian service. The 77 moved large numbers of troops. Comfort and speed mattered on long deployments. Boeing 7047, the arrival of the jumbo jet, changed logistics. It moved thousands across oceans efficiently. Scale became strategy. Training and utility jets. Lockheed T-303 Shooting Star reliable and versatile. The T-303 kept pilots current. Training and utility missions sustained readiness. Cessna T-37 Tweed recognizable by its sound. The T-37 introduced pilots to jet flight. Every combat pilot started somewhere. North American T-39 Sabreliner fast transport met training capability. The T-39 moved people and priorities quickly. Grumman TF-9J Cougar naval aviators trained on the TF-9J before advancing to frontline jets. Experience began here. Northrop T-38 Talon supersonic training prepared pilots for the future. The T-38 bridge training and combat performance. Lockheed AP-2A Neptune modified for sensor warfare. The AP-2A supported covert operations. It dropped sensors to track enemy movement. Technology extended awareness beyond sight. From strike jets flying treetop high to bombers reshaping entire battlefields, Vietnam tested every assumption about jet warfare. Some aircraft thrived, others struggled before adapting, but together they transformed how air wars are fought. This was the complete story of every U.S. jet aircraft used in the Vietnam War.